Hi guys, it's Baby D. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you how to cook Ndole, a savory delicacy of the Sawa people, widely regarded as the national dish of Cameroon. The flavor profile of Ndole is a contrast of creaminess and slight bitterness balanced by savory notes from the added ingredients. So for this dish, you're going to be needing onions, crayfish, bitterleaf or spinach, tiger prawns, some beef cubed into desired slices, some peeled groundnuts or peanuts, Maggi crevette, a little bit of ginger and garlic, habanero pepper, some vegetable oil, ripe plantains. So let's get started, guys. First, you want to start by thoroughly washing your meat under running water and repeat as necessary. Place the meat on a clean chopping board and dice with a sharp knife into desired sizes. Cut your onions and slice them thinly. You're going to divide these onions into two. You're going to be needing part of it for the garnishing at the end of the preparation, and then you're going to saute the other part shortly. Next up, we're going to steam the meat. Add some onions and salt to taste. Let it simmer in its own juices before adding water. Simultaneously, in a clean pot, add peeled groundnuts with some water. Make sure the peanut is completely immersed and then you bring it to a boil, but don't cook. We want the peanut soft enough to blend. After about 5 to 15 minutes, remove the peanuts and strain. Meanwhile, check on your meat. Make sure it's cooking properly and not getting burned. So we want to bring the peanuts to a boil, and then after that you wash thoroughly and strain over running water. And now you can combine your washed pepper, little ginger and garlic with washed groundnuts and chop your large onions and add. You sift the ingredients in a blender. Add a little bit of water. You want to make sure you don't add too much water. You don't want this light. You blend until smooth, and now your beef is tender and ready to cook. So we go to the next step. Now you can see the beef is tender. You're going to set the stock aside because we'll be using it later in the process. In a clean pot, you're going to add some vegetable oil, let it get hot, and then add onions. You let the onions simmer for a little bit, and then you can introduce the beef and you keep stirring. Now you're introducing the beef and you're going to give it a good stir for about a minute just to prevent it from burning. So you just want to leave this under a medium heat at this point. And now is the time to add your peanuts. So you're going to reintroduce your peanuts into the pot gradually until you're all done. So this is me adding the peanuts into the mixture of the sauteed meat and onions in vegetable oil. At this point, the flavor is to die for. So this is when you quickly start seeing the groundnut skipping. So you want to go ahead and add your crayfish and Maggi or salt, and you taste it, because it's not going to take so long before it starts skipping. When it starts skipping, you know that it means the peanuts is starting to cook and starting to simmer properly. So you want to add your Maggi cube seasoning. This is the Maggi crevette. Next, I added my crayfish. I don't add crayfish when blending the groundnut, just to give it this bright texture. So I add the crayfish towards the end. This is a good time to introduce the vegetable. I'm using spinach because I don't have bitter leaf. So if you're like me and you don't have bitter leaf, spinach is a very delicious alternative, but ideally you want to use bitter leaf. After introducing the bitter leaf, you will bring this to a low heat, so to avoid the groundnut splashing everywhere and burning you. So you want to do this process in low heat and you keep stirring. So you give this a very good stir, and then you taste for salt and Any other ingredient you feel is lacking. At this point, I'm reintroducing the meat stock just to give it a little lightness because my sauce is thick. So you use your discretion to see how much stock you want to add. And you let this cook for about 5 minutes and your ndole is ready. You want to put this aside, and then you're going to start with the next process, which for me is the highlight of this delicious meal, which is the prawns. So you're going to start by adding some seasoning to the prawns and give it a good mix, and then you set aside. And then you remember the onions you chopped and set aside. Now is the time to bring it out. You're going to add vegetable oil to a frying pan, and then you let it get hot. When the vegetable oil is hot, you're going to add in your onions. You let that sit for about a minute or less, and then you can introduce your prawns. So both of them are going to simmer under medium heat. When you add the prawns, the color is going to be gray. You know it's ready when it turns into a pinkish color. You want to switch the side of the prawns very carefully. You can see me adding the prawns into the pot with the onions. I'm turning the sides now, cooking under medium heat. You want to cook this under medium heat. You don't want the onions to start burning before the prawns are ready. And there you have it, guys. You want to throw the prawns on top of your ndole and serve. The flavor from this is something else. I am so proud to be a Cameroonian. I love ndole. It's so delicious. You can fry dodo or boiled plantains or miondo, baton, whatever else. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, drop a comment and subscribe.